Okay, so what if I told you there's this game, right? It's so complex, so incredibly deep, that even people who've poured thousands of hours into it, they're still finding new stuff.
Yeah, like new strategies, new ways to play.
Exactly. It's not just, entertainment. It's like this intense test of your brain, your reflexes. What makes a game like that command so much dedication? We're talking millions of people playing, watching. Today we're going to dive deep into Dota 2. And this one's special, actually, because it comes recommended by a listener, Charlotte from Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she told us she plays it, like, all the time. So, Charlotte, this deep dive, it's for you.
Awesome. And for everyone keeping score at home, this is Season 3, Episode
37
of the Deep Dive.
Right. And our Season 3 title is Games, Gaming Reviews, and More. So, yeah, Dota 2 fits right in.
Perfectly.
And the material we're digging into today, it comes from Dota 2. A deep dive into competitive gaming.
Okay.
Yeah, and get this, Misha isn't just an Adobe creator and a gamer. Misha is actually the producer of this very deep dive we're doing right now.
Whoa, really? That's cool. So thanks, Misha, for the groundwork.
Seriously, thank you, Misha. Okay, let's unpack this then. What is it about Dota 2? What makes it this, strategic battlefield, this digital chess match where every game is totally unpredictable?
Well, often decided by just one perfect team move,
Yeah.
or like one super clever play.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating how something that intricate, where every little choice counts, didn't just get huge globally, but it actually shaped esports as we know it.
Okay, so it had a big impact. Where did it even start? You said it shaped esports, so we kind of have to go back.
We do. Yeah, you really have to look at its origins because Dota 2 didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Its story, it actually begins as a mod, a fan-made modification.
Huh, really? Not a standalone game from the start.
Nope. Its roots are deep in defense of the ancients. Everyone just called it Dota. It was a custom map someone made for Blizzard's Warcraft III, Reign of Chaos.
Warcraft III, okay, I remember that.
Right, and that mod was, revolutionary. It basically invented the whole MOBA genre multiplayer online battle arena.
Ah, so that's where MOBAs came from.
Pretty much pioneered it.
Yeah.
And it just blew up, built this massive, super dedicated following, mostly just through word of mouth. People love the gameplay.
Wow. Okay, so then Valve, big company, known for games like Half-Life, Steam, they noticed this grassroots thing happening. What's their move?
A really smart one. They hired the anonymous lead designer of Dota, this figure known only as IceFrog.
IceFrog,
Okay.
right?
And with IceFrog leading the charge, Valve officially launched Dota 2 in 2013. But they didn't just, copy the mod. They totally reimagined it. Better graphics, obviously. A whole new dedicated game engine, which gave them a lot more flexibility. And crucially, this really strong commitment to competitive balance, which honestly they still focus on constantly.
That sounds key. That constant tweaking and balancing must be why it's still such a competitive force. And what about how you actually get the game, the business model?
Yeah, that's another big thing. Dota 2 is completely free to play, 100%.
No cost at all.
Nope. Download it and boom, all the heroes, over 120 of them now, are available right away. No unlocking needed.
That's pretty different from a lot of other games in that genre, right? Where you have to grind or pay for characters.
Exactly. That accessibility, having everything available from minute one, it's a huge part of why it has such a massive player base. It really lowers the barrier to entry, at least in terms of cost.
Okay, so it's easy to get into cost-wise.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the game itself, not so easy. That learning curve is legendary, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's where the real barrier is. So once you're in, what actually keeps people hooked? What's this battlefield like?
Paint me a picture.
Okay, so the basics. 2 teams, 5 players each. You're on this big, sprawling map that isn't symmetrical, which is important.
Asymmetrical.
Okay. The main goal, destroy the enemy team's core structure, called the Ancient. Think of it like, the king in chess, but it's a building.
Right, the base race idea. But you said it's more complex.
Or way more. Getting to that Ancient is this incredibly layered strategic fight. Every single thing matters which hero you pick, even down to getting the very last hit on a little computer-controlled minion.
Okay, break that down. The map, what are the key parts?
All right, you got 3 main paths called lanes. That's where these waves of AI guys, the creeps, march towards the enemy base.
Your minions, basically.
Exactly. And your heroes are pushing with them, trying to take down enemy towers, and eventually these buildings called barracks along the way. But then off the lanes, you have the jungle.
The jungle. Sounds dangerous.
Trade in your boring job for a brilliant career using Adobe Creative Cloud. Start learning now with the free trial link in the description.
It can be. Yeah. It's filled with neutral creeps you can fight for extra gold and experience. There are also these things called runes that pop up, giving temporary power-ups. And it's got all these hidden paths, crucial for sneaking around, setting up ambushes, what players call ganks.
Ganks! Got it. Surprise attacks. So it's this constantly shifting battle. How do players actually get stronger during a match? Is it just fighting other players?
Fighting helps, sure, but a huge part is resource management, controlling the map, and just executing things precisely.
Like what kind of resources?
Gold and experience points, mostly. You get them mainly by landing the killing blow on enemy creeps. It's called last hitting.
Ah, you mentioned that. So just hitting them isn't enough.
Nope, you got to get the last hit. That gives you the gold. You also get gold and XP from destroying enemy towers, buildings, and of course killing enemy heroes.
And these resources are critical.
Absolutely vital. They fuel everything. They determine when your hero hits a power spike.
Power spike.
Yeah, those key moments when you level up or buy a big item and suddenly you're way stronger. Timing those spikes is huge.
That last hitting thing sounds super precise. How does that change the early game compared to just like clearing out minions quickly?
It completely changes the dynamic. It's not just about pushing the lane fast. It becomes this constant, subtle fight for every single gold coin. You're timing your attacks perfectly, trying to deny the enemy gold while securing your own.
Deny the enemy? How?
But that's another layer. You can actually last hit your own creeps when they're low on health.
Wait, kill your own guys. Why?
To deny the enemy hero the gold and some of the experience they would have gotten, it's about starving your opponent.
Wow, okay. That adds a whole other level of calculation right from the start.
Exactly. A constant battle for lane control. For every last hit, for every deny, it sets the whole pace of the match.
So you get experience and gold. What do you do with them?
Experience makes your hero level up. That boosts your basic stats, strength, agility, intelligence, and lets you unlock or improve your hero's abilities. Each hero has like 4 main abilities, including a really powerful ultimate.
Big special move.
Right. And then there's more customization. There's a talent tree where you pick specific power-ups at certain levels. And recently they added facets.
Facets.
Yeah, they're like these unique little traits that slightly bend the rules for your hero, letting you personalize your playstyle even more. Adds another layer.
Okay, so leveling up handles abilities and stats. What about the gold? You buy swords and stuff?
Swords, shields, magical amulets, boots, weird orbs.
Yes. Gold is spent on items, and the item shop in Dota 2 is vast. It's enormous.
Just basic stat boosts.
Some are, but many items have really powerful active abilities you have to trigger, or passive effects that totally change how your hero works or interacts with enemies.
So choosing items is a whole strategy in itself. Oh, absolutely critical. It massively affects your power spikes, what your job is in a team fight, how you match up against specific enemies. It's not just buying the most expensive thing. It's about buying the right thing for this specific game right now. Countering the enemy, synergizing with your team. It's deep.
Speaking of heroes, you mentioned over 120. That's a lot. How do they even keep that balance, and how did teams work together with so much variety?
Yeah, 120 plus unique heroes. It's wild. Each one has different primary attributes, different strengths, different weaknesses, and those 4 unique abilities we talked about: spells, attacks, buffs, ways to disable enemies.
So no 2 games are ever the same, basically.
Never. And balance is this constant tightrope walk for Valve. They're always making small adjustments, tweaking heroes, changing items with every big patch.
And these heroes, they have defined roles, right? Like in sports, you can't just have 5 guys who all want to score.
Exactly. Understanding roles is fundamental. The game even uses a numbering system, 1 through 5, to describe farm priority and role. Position 1 is the carry.
They carry the team.
Ideally, yeah. They usually start weak, but scale incredibly well with items and levels. They become the main damage dealers late game. Often the team's whole strategy revolves around protecting the carry early and getting them farmed up.
So they need support. Who else is there?
Position 2 is the mid laner. Plays solo in that middle lane, usually a hero who can make a big impact early and mid game, maybe roam to other lanes to get kills.
Okay.
Position 3 is the off laner. They play in the lane that's generally considered harder or more dangerous for their team. They need to be tough, disruptive, good at starting fights, usually gets less farm than the carrier mid laner.
Makes sense.
Trade in your boring job for a brilliant career using Adobe Creative Cloud. Start learning now with the free trial link in the description.
So that's 3 core roles. What about the other 2, the supports?
Yep. Position 4 is the soft support, or sometimes roaming support. They help out around the map, provide vision with wards. Those are crucial invisible items that let you see areas of the map. use their spells to set up kills, control crowds.
Okay, vision sounds really important. Wards.
Essential. And finally, position 5, the heart support. This player is the most selfless. Their job is almost entirely focused on enabling the team, buying wards, healing, protecting the carry in the early game, often having very little goal themselves.
So it really forces teamwork. One-star player can't just win alone.
Absolutely not. Dota is fundamentally about the team. The synergy between these roles, how you draft your heroes to counter the enemy's picks before the game even starts, that's a massive part of the strategy.
The draft. Yeah, that sounds critical. Okay, this all sounds incredibly deep, which brings us back to that learning curve. It's known for being brutal, right? Like, it doesn't hold your hand at all.
Understatement of the year. Dota 2 just throws you in. It expects you to figure out tons of mechanics, all the hero abilities, how items interact, the map timings, with almost zero hand-holding.
Like that denying thing you mentioned, killing your own creeps.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. It's subtle, but super important for controlling resources, but the game doesn't exactly walk you through why or how to do it effectively. Or warding, knowing where and when to place those wards for maximum vision is an art in itself.
Wow. Okay, it sounds really unforgiving. Like you need serious dedication just to get the basics down. But the source material says that is the appeal, that the toughness is its strength. How does that work?
It's kind of counterintuitive, right? But yeah, that unforgiving nature is precisely what makes mastering it feel so rewarding. It's a journey that never really ends.
Because there's always more to learn.
Always. Victory isn't just about clicking fast, though mechanics matter. It's this constant mental game, predicting, adapting, outthinking your opponents. People with literally 10,000 hours played still find new tricks, refine how they play, understand interactions better.
So the challenge itself builds dedication.
Exactly, and that shared struggle, that difficult learning curve, it builds this really strong sense of community too. People bond over figuring this beast out together.
Okay, so it rewards deep thinking, teamwork, continuous learning, not just reflexes.
Right.
And that whole package, the depth, the competition, that's what pushed it to the top of esports.
Absolutely. Dota 2 is right there at the peak.
Yeah.
And its main event, the World Championship, is called the International.
TI. That's the one with the insane prize pools, right? Like tens of millions of dollars.
Yep, legendary prize pools. The source mentions those huge figures, and it's mostly crowdfunded.
Crowdfunded, how?
Through something called the Battle Pass. Players can buy this in-game package with cosmetics and challenges, and a percentage of all those sales goes directly into the TI prize pool.
So the players themselves pump up the prize money. That's clever. Gives them investment.
Huge investment. And TI itself, that's where the absolute best teams in the world face off. It consistently produces some of the most exciting, strategically dense, just emotionally draining moments in all of competitive gaming.
Cementing its place as a top esport.
For sure. And it's not just TI. There's a whole professional circuit, regional leagues, majors throughout the year that keep the competition fierce and the game constantly evolving.
Man, what a journey. From a Warcraft III mod to this global esports giant.
It really shows you the enduring appeal, right? It all comes down to those infinite strategic possibilities.
Yeah.
No two games are alike. Every match is its own story.
Shaped by the heroes, the items, individual skill.
And that seamless team coordination, which is maybe the hardest part.
Yeah, it really demands everything. Sharp thinking, fast
Well said.
reflexes, being adaptable, and really understanding the meta.
Ah, yes, the meta.
Yeah.
The ever-shifting landscape of what strategies are currently strongest.
Driven by updates, new player ideas, it's like this living puzzle.
It totally is. A strategic symphony, you could say, where every note, every decision counts, and outsmarting your opponents within that constantly changing environment. That feels good.
No doubt.
So yeah, for anyone willing to put in the time to really embrace that insane challenge, Dota 2 offers something pretty unique. It's more than a game. It's like a commitment.
A commitment to endless learning, yeah. Intense competition, chasing that strategic perfection.
Exactly.
So what's the takeaway here? I guess it means Dota 2 isn't something you just play. It's something you study, you try to master, you explore endlessly.
Right. That tough, unforgiving nature, that's the engine driving the dedication. It makes every match this complex, evolving puzzle you're trying to solve.
Which makes you think.
Yeah, it kind of raises a bigger question, doesn't it? Where else do we see that? This incredibly demanding road to mastery, where every little choice has weight, and just the pursuit of getting better keeps people hooked.
Applying those ideas, strategy, teamwork, constant learning outside of the game.
Yeah, think about it. How might those principles apply to other complex challenges, maybe even in your own life?
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. I'm Misha, and let me send out a huge thank you for listening. If you want more content on gaming, education, or other fun stuff, head over and find me on YouTube. Link is in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.